Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos and tutorials, and in this video today I would like to talk a little bit about PowerSchool data breach and security issues. So a few days ago I read an article at TechCrunch about PowerSchool data breach, and it was very interesting to me, and something similar which I was talking about in some of my previous video about Epic Games and earlier about other big companies and how they handle your data, secure it and all of that. And this article, I will link it in description, proves a lot of my point, and just not because they're my point or smart, quite opposite, they are just common sense, but somehow those companies, even though they fail so much on so many different ways, they still try to convince you how you should trust them and how their way is the only way, and so on. Although, as I just said, it's been proven so many times that they are making wrong decisions. I will scroll down to the end of this article just to start with these titles here in terms of bold, black, bigger letters and sentences, because they, if you don't have time, they in short explain what happened and how those people treat those problems. So this one says we don't yet know who was behind the attack. So we don't know who is unknown. We don't know what evidence PowerSchool received that the stolen data has been deleted. Not only we don't know who is the bad guy, but we don't know if that bad guy is doing what he was supposed to do, to delete the data which he stole from us. We don't know how much it costs us, how much PowerSchool paid the hackers. We don't know how many schools or students are affected, so we don't know how big this problem is. We don't know how big the scope of the problem is. And that's all summarized in this title of the story. PowerSchool isn't saying what PowerSchool isn't saying. So this is the crucial. They're not saying almost anything, and that defines the talk of the story, the course of the story, the narrative. And it's so funny again because just imagine you at your work. It doesn't matter what kind of work you do for a living or as a hobby or whatever. Is it highly paid, low paid? Is it informational technology, computer, or some manual labor trades or whatever? Just imagine you have some kind of problem, and even better if you have some boss above you, and you say something like this: okay, boss, I don't know who made the problem, and I don't know if the problem is still around in terms of is that data which is compromised deleted, or they will go back for us again, so problem will be repeated maybe. I don't know how much it will cost us or how much we have paid for it yet, and I don't know how much of our infrastructure is affected. Like in this case it's schools and students, but in your case that could be some other industry. It could like you have some kind of food work company, and your food is poisoned, and you don't know who poisoned it. You don't know who is he coming back, or the poison is deleted. We paid some money and lost some money, but not sure how much, and we don't know how many of those food articles are affected. So again, it is so funny on so many ways, and try to connect it with all of those other stories which I was talking about, and I will probably make a couple of new playlists. Again, we are discussing some of those issues from really basic perspective, but which is most important to see how these things work. So when you don't give answers to those questions, or you just say we don't know, does that make you trust that company or person or service, or opposite? It should be opposite. It should be really crazy, like, okay, we have to push this to another level, or either you're uncompatible to work at that position, or we need someone better to find who is behind the attack, how big the attack is, and so on. This article is relatively short, and you have lots of info on PowerSchool. It's a company, educational tech company, which provides K-12 software to more than 18,000 schools with some 60 million students in the United States. So you know why now why they say we don't know how many schools or students, because if they say it could be all of those, it could be like 60 million, they would lose lots of customers. So it's much safer to say it like this, but again, it's not very smart on a long term, as if you try to present yourself as some kind of high class company. Confirm the breach. So the breach is confirmed. It's not some speculation, and this company, it was bought recently by some other big player, Bain Capital, or however it's pronounced, for 5.6 billion. I'm going to show you some links on that in a few moments, but so far let's just scroll down and see what happened, what they say, and what they think happened, because they still don't know. And they have a couple of those features and mechanics which enables them to collect the data and integrate data, and one of those is some kind of how they call it, Power Source portal. So they have PowerSchool as one thing, one mechanics, and Power Source portal as another. And if I understood well, the Power Source portal was the problem in terms of they didn't have multi-factor authentication, and the PowerSchool did. So there is some kind of unbalanced security there. Again, you don't care about that, or don't need to know that, or as a customer, in terms of that's their problem, not yours, but it is yours now. But a number of important questions remain unanswered. Yeah. Potential. This incident has the potential to impact millions of students. Why? Because of their data, and as we saw here with Epic Games, that data could be anything, and we will see that soon here also. It could be your personal data, as name and last name, first name, your address, your state where you live, city, your address of the street address, phone number. Why would you think about someone stealing that and using that? It's crazy, but it happens. And also even more problematic is your financial data, like credit card numbers or whatever you used to pay for those services, and other stuff like medical. We will see here medical data and so on. They hired cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. Interesting again because they describe themselves PowerSchool as some kind of expert on even on security. We will see that in a few moments. And there are a few interesting details here. Hackers may have accessed some 40 years worth of student data. Crazy. Because they have 240,000 students each year, for example, in Canada, Toronto District School. Yeah. Company confirmed that hackers stole sensitive personal information on students and teachers, including some students' social security numbers, grades, demographic, and medical information. Nice and very, very interesting. Again, some of these data, it makes sense that schools have them and should have them. Like, for example, medical information. I think they even write here. When certain students need to take their medications, like maybe some of that data can save someone's life if he's in some kind of really difficult medical problem and has a need for someone else to help him if he's like epilepsy or whatever, and need someone other people's help from time to time. But the whole idea here is that that data is old, digitalized, and like combined into big company which doesn't need that data all at its big data center, like at one place. Why would someone need that medical data other than school in which the student currently is, and so on? And they don't just see those problems like that. They're like, okay, all the data in one place, we need it so we can run our analytics, stats, and other stupidities, and crunch the numbers to somehow make some other service for people to sell them, and so on. Here is a couple of fun information here, because there is a link here which you have no guarantee that the data which hackers stole from you will be ever deleted. You pay them, and it's their goodwill if they want to delete it or not. And that happened so many times before, and they have another link to Logbit problem, and the gang still had data belonging to victims who paid the ransom demand. So again, there are no secure things in this world, no matter how big those companies are or say they are. We are talking about those issues, and also you as a customer who has the power not to give everything to them, and where you pull and draw the line. Okay. One of the biggest unknowns is who was responsible. So it's like some kind of mystery movie about hackers. Also, this is very funny. Do you have more information about the PowerSchool data breach? We'd love to hear from you. You can contact us securely. Yes, this securely is not obviously working for this company and online services. So I wanted to share a couple of interesting details for this company also. They call themselves PowerSchool. PowerSchool helps you support every step of K-12 learning journey by personalizing education and so on. And they have 60 million students, 18K schools in 90 countries, and this sounds really cool and great until it's data breached. Then you have so many problems. All of those numbers here which you see as something which is sold to you as proof of company's worth and work and so on, and I don't say it's lie or opposite or whatever. It also can be a problem once your Babylon Tower gets crushed and it falls down. It falls on all of this. Someone who enters it and steals the data, steals like the magic ring, he steals like everything in it if you make it that way. Other thing which I want to emphasize here, when you click on products, and I like, as you some people who are watching my channel and clips videos for longer, they know that I like to make connections, links in terms of patterns and deeper stories, and talking about how easily you can see some of those patterns. Like for example, what do you see here as some basic most obvious pattern? For example, I see a cloud, word cloud, so many times. Student information cloud, personalized learning cloud, student success cloud, college career life readiness cloud, talent recruitment retention cloud, resource planning cloud. And also AI is also, we talked about that earlier, big new stuff, big new selling point. But so far here we can see that everything should be clouded and in cloud. Like that must be something very important and very cool and very powerful and secure. But we have seen it's quite opposite. Once you put something in the cloud and someone enters that cloud, you are all cooked. Why PowerSchool is proven leader? So they call themselves leader in education, personalized education, and it's about their, again, cloud-based software solutions. Most experienced, trusted, I don't know what they are experienced in serving the students and maybe giving the best education, okay, in some terms, but who rates that? But this is trusted. This is not viable anymore. This is like something they should remove or explain how the data breach happens, because they don't know yet. They don't know how. They don't know how many. Okay, so best in class solution. Industry experts. Yeah, industry experts, like in what services, leadership, content, innovative. Okay, maybe their content is really good, but they need industry experts in security also, obviously. About PowerSchool, this page gives you a nice review how the company started in 1997, then acquired by Apple, and then later in 2006 by Pearson, then other connections selling. It's like they are changing the company teams or ownership, and currently in 2024 they are acquired by Bain Capital, or however it's pronounced. So again, just a reminder how this is very important. Most comprehensive integrated solutions, that's what I want to talk about, but we will do that in a few seconds. This one is very funny to me. bring accuracy and security to your student data. So again, this sentence it's not viable anymore, it's not working anymore. This is not true if this is true. There is no security here, there is no security anywhere, but you shouldn't advertise yourself like that. And I'm not talking like, for example, my channel, YouTube, small channel, a small number of people, but same rules apply. The same processes, the same problems which they have faced here with data breach, anyone can face on YouTube, on mobile phone, on your PC, desktop, wherever you have IT solutions, software, hardware, all of that can be breached and penetrated in, and your security is never 100%. And that should be like that. The whole game of life works like that. But it's funny how they never admit that or learn from their mistakes, but somehow they say connecting student data across systems is critical to ensuring accuracy. This makes sense, this sentence here. Even that could be negotiable and talked about, because you don't need to connect every data. There is no logical common sense in every data about every student should be somehow connected to some kind of big data brain or whatever, however you call it. But this one, protecting your organization from cyber attacks, how can you protect me when my data is flowing to you? Does it make sense? Why would I transfer my data the moment I connect to you as a small node, as a small part, organization, school, whatever, to you as a big data center? That connection is another security issue. It doesn't matter how secure you think it is. The connection itself makes two-way street. I have to connect to you, you have to connect to me, we have to transfer some data, and that's all invitation to hackers and people who want to use that as a weakness. So but somehow they need to convince you that all you need to do, like with this guy here, Epic Games, we have seen that in their OILA and user license agreement and privacy policy. It's always about we need your data as much as you make on other sites, on other issues, whatever we think it's viable for us and needed and so on, and we will store it for as much as we need and so on. So it's always the same story, always the same lies and approach. So and they gave some kind of samples how what is the problem and how they will solve it. So we have incompatible systems that don't share data. This is not a problem if you don't share the data. Not all the data should be shared. Again, why would someone in some data center somewhere in other country have the data on medical issues of students in Europe if he's in USA, and my vice versa, or in Canada if he's in USA and so on? Is he going to jump in the plane and help them there to give them some medicine and so on? Or for example, even more important, some financial data like credit cards and so on, that can all be reserved to the part of it, but somehow they want to take all the data at once, like flow all the data to me, like some kind of, again, it's most comparable to some crazy movies or stories where there is one ring to rule them all, or whatever, some kind of bad guy, mastermind, bad computer or whatever, but actually they all follow that pattern. So our student data is it's not accurate, updated, or complete. Okay, so who is going to update it? People in the school or that object where those students are? It doesn't have to be transferred to some center which doesn't have any common sense connection to me with my students. Again, very, very stupid excuse or idea, but somehow it works for them. And security risks. PowerSchool invest in updated security technology and strict regulations to keep your data secure. And this happens. Student information cloud. But somehow they have to sell you that story so they can sell you their services. Rob's story, we'll call him Rob. So this guy here, I guess he's not existing maybe at all. He's like some kind of AI character, or maybe if it is, sorry, I didn't mean to insult you, but we'll call him Rob. So I guess it's just a sample of some guy who is K-12 technology director. So this was interesting to me as a page. Cyber attacks. So he's going to solve the problems. These buttons here, siloed student data, disparate tools, cyber attacks, manual analytics, not all of them are problems. Cyber attacks, okay, but student data, if it's siloed into silos, that's not a problem every time. You don't need to share every data, complete data from one silo to the center. Maybe some basics, but not all of them. And manual analytics. If those people have some kind of manual solution for some of those schools on some basic level, at least for, I guess, financial, like real world paper and pen, although most of you will laugh at it, but you should also know that most of the banks, financial institutions, they have the law makes them keep the data on the paper just because of these things also, not only on digital. So and if you have some of those data, or even better all, because you shouldn't collect so much data, you should collect only what is necessary, put that on the paper, and hackers do not exist as a threat. Then they're not going to hack you from Canada, USA, Russia, India, some other country, some other state, some other city digitally, because they cannot enter your file, your paper. It's simple as that. They would have to come to your school to steal it, to break and enter, which is again a crime of its own. And you would probably see them easier, catch them easier, and so on. Anyway, let's see what this guy Rob is going to challenge. Disconnected data. This data is not disconnected, it's just out of the reach of some big data center. So he's going to implement a more modern student information system. Yeah, by moving to a cloud-hosted solution, cloud like someone else's computer, which is again possible to penetrate, attack, breach. And now he can securely manage and store. So what happens here from this moment, moving to a cloud-hosted solution, to this moment, now it's securely managed and store. It's like a magic wand. Here we put this in a cloud, and now we can securely manage it. Yeah. Here it's better. You can make it. You can see it better. Challenges siloed data, so they are going to integrate it. Integrating the data, that doesn't mean it's still it's out of the silo now from one school in some country, and it's like secure. No, it's still taken from that and integrated in bigger silos somewhere else. So all the rules apply here, they just say it otherwise. incompatible systems to interoperable, like more people can open them, use them, check them, edit them. That doesn't mean it's secure. It's quite opposite. You make more systematic security issues. Cybersecurity vulnerabilities to secure world-class cloud hosting. So is this secure? How they stole your data, you don't know. Who, you don't know. How big, you don't know. If they are deleted that data at all, you don't say how much it cost you, how much students or schools are involved, but somehow it's secure world-class cloud hosting. This doesn't mean anything. And this is also, what I was talking a few moments ago, manual process. It's always a problem. They always want, big companies always want to automate, digitalize everything possible just to make more money. As greedy as they are, they always trying to cut the human interaction from every possible process possible. We want that streamlined. We want analytics so we can have more numbers, more stats, so we can pull the data from it and see what our customers are using, so we can charge them for that, make more services and sell more services, and so on. So that's the whole idea. Transforming education with a streamlined digital ecosystem. So this digital is the key, and then it has to be streamlined because it's digital again, and it has to be ecosystem because that's how they are going to charge you. I use this word ecosystem a lot, I think, when I talked about Epic Games, also other big companies, game services like Sony, Xbox and stuff like that. They all want, or Steam, for example, Steam as ecosystem, they all want you in their ecosystem as long as possible, not only time related as long as possible, but software and usage related, like I'm going to create Epic Launcher, so you will need to install it to play your games. I'm going to create Steam Launcher, so you have to install it to play, and so on and so on. So it's just the pattern. It's how those companies work. This link is from this page here, one of those links, because it was very interesting and funny to me how couple of those really important details which I was talking about they're talking here about the incident and update, where it is going and what happened and so on. So individual security, social security number or social insurance number was exfiltrated. It's funny also, you see how they use some of those words instead of stolen or taken, exfiltrated. When you would use those words? Never. But that's how they are trying to manage their damage and make it look less important and less serious. So let's see what happened and how they're going to solve it. Status update. They keep copy pasting some of the data here through all of this page, which is really long. You see here, thank you for continued patience as we navigate the cybersecurity incident. As we reported last week, it's same as here. Thank you for the continued patience, and so on. So again, imagine this is what you received in some real world talk with real world person, just copy pasting and repeating the same talk, which doesn't help you. How would you address that? Or if you are behaving like that to someone else, would that other person still work with you, still be your customer, and so on? So really funny. We cannot confirm precise numbers because our data review process is still going on. How your data review process is still ongoing when you said that you have like a top experts, like top solution, best in solutions, trusted proven provider, industry experts? So how is this still ongoing? And it's difficult to make broad statements what data was involved. So they cannot tell you what data was involved because it varies by individual customer and it's dependent on customer choice, requirements, and policies. So why do you have that integrated approach, that integrated data centralization and all of that promises once you want me to be involved in it, and then later you just say, oh, that's all individual? So if it's individual, then it's siloed, it's not integrated. You cannot streamline analytics like you said. So it's always, we have promised you this, but somehow now we have something else when we face the real world problem. Student and educator data involved. For involved students and educators, the types of information exfiltrated, taken, stolen, why don't you say like that, may have one or more. So it's always, it can be, it may have exfiltrated, not stolen. Your name, individual name, contact information, date of birth, limited medical information, social insurance number, and other related information. Other related informations can mean anything at all and all or nothing. Steps we are taking. So third party cybersecurity experts. So why third party when you're secured, cloud secured, and so on? So many times we have seen here experts, cloud secure, cloud, secure, security, accuracy. We don't have that accuracy, and so on. What happened, and so on, we have talked about already. They mostly copy paste the same information here. Again, we're not going to go through all of that. Were other PowerSchool products affected? We have no evidence that other products were affected, but I guess you also don't have evidence that they are not affected. Should we take any action to secure our own systems in terms of if someone has taken my data, my info from your data center? Should I be worried? No, we do not believe. I don't care what you believe. Is there a risk? Again, it's so funny in so many ways. They just try to push the we're not guilty on this, so we have no evidence of malware and so on. So great. We don't expect. I don't care about expectation. I don't care about your belief. But you have no evidence. So if you don't have evidence of malware, that doesn't mean the malware it's not existing. That means that they just have no evidence. So crazy. But again, very expected, at least for me. what happened, who was affected, and it's always the was credit card or banking information involved. We have no evidence that it was involved, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's just they don't have evidence. Maybe they cannot acquire that evidence, they're not good enough, or they don't have it yet. But somehow if they're stolen your data, I guess, as they say, security number, social security, and so on, some of those is probably connected to financial information too. So on, and for the end, I'm not sure how long this was. 40 minutes already. These were the guys who bought this company, Bane, or however it's pronounced, like that character from the Batman, and they paid 5.6 billion in January, I think, 2024 or something like this. And acquisition second half of 2024 and so on. So a very powerful company is buying some other very powerful company, and this Bain is again nothing to do with education. It's a top management consulting firm, advisors on strategy, marketing, organization, operations, and so on. So this is their site. I don't want to accept their cookies or check them out. I can see even from this page, and AI here again, leading with AI. It's always AI, it's always digitalization, it's always cloud, it's always so secure until this happens. But I just wanted to show how it's funny how those companies are trying to grow in quantity as much as possible, not always in quality or always, as they say, personalization. So it's always we're doing everything for you, but somehow it's always about expanding, and not seeing the whole picture, how it's never secure, or it's never about just expanding to the number of people. The more you expand and the more you grow, as I said before, it's like some Babylon tower which will just fall harder. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And it's also very funny how these numbers are so crazy nowadays. Those companies are so big on so many financial levels and connections, but somehow so vulnerable and so weak on some other issues. And not talking only about security, I talk about also sharing their knowledge, compared to people to try to share it different ways, not only as I do here, but again some other more successful stories and so on, and how it's easy to share the knowledge if you want, and how there are so many different ways to do it without collecting data about you and your family, medical stuff, issues, financial security, social numbers, and so on. Even if you want to play the games, even if you want to enroll as a student to some school, it's always we need all of your data, and it's all secure at our castle. That's it for this video. Sorry this was so long, but a very, very interesting topic, at least for me, and it proves a lot of things which we were talking about. And again, try to see those patterns and how world becomes crazier and crazier. So for example, this number here, 5.6 billion, it sounds so big and so huge, and even that maybe this company is worth of that, but somehow we see not only that they cannot secure their data, but also it's very relative when you compare it, for example, with this game. One game cost $700 million, and you buy for $5.6 billion some software provider educational school. So it's like so funny. It costs only under quotation 8 games. If my math is good, 8 times $700 million should be 5.6 billion. So both of those numbers are crazy, but try to compare it to your life of your friends, families, and ordinary people, and how not only how economy is working nowadays and inflation and so on, but how some of those numbers are also ideal just to burn money to make other possibilities. And we're going to talk about some other videos, maybe about money laundering, about stuff like that. Again, not saying these guys did it, but there are possibilities to do it when you work with such a big amounts of money. And again, try to think about it from your perspective. What exactly here is worth of $700 million? What exactly here at this educational company is worth $5.6 billion? And it can go on so many ways, and you can learn on so many stuff that way if you try to explore it and search it your own. And you will see and understand that most of the values of those companies or products like this game here are based on you as a customer, on you as a data. So these guys here, Bain, big fish, big company, top management, they are making analytics on who has the most data, most clients, most people in their cloud, and that's how they value you, how many customers you have in your ecosystem. But also these things happen and broke their dreams, broke their industries, broke their marketplace, and so on. So it's all very interesting to check out, search again if you want to know how the world works. That's it for this video. Again, sorry for me talking too much. See you in the next one. Bye for now.